again, my name is Gabe Zollner. There's an interesting article on Western Center for Journalism, and it's titled, Immigration Reform Could Be a Bonanza for Democrats. And what they're referring to is, the 11 or 12 million undocumented immigrants that are in this country. Now, what I don't understand, and there's a lot that I don't understand, but a couple of hours ago I watched Fox News, and Mark Rubio, the senator from Florida, he was on, and Cavuto was asking him some questions. And what I heard Rubio state very clearly is that if this legislation passes, it'll be a path to citizenship. But it'll take 10 years before they can become citizens, assuming that they pass all their hurdles. He also said that they'll not be eligible for any benefits. Any benefits. So there's a lot of contradiction going around, because earlier on I heard that if they did get legislation passed, then they would be entitled to Obamacare. And when you think about it, how can they allow them to form a path for citizenship and then not provide them any benefits and exclude them from Obamacare? I mean, none of it makes any sense. And this is why this is so frustrating for Americans, because it's so confusing. And once again, none of it makes any sense. We don't know what we can believe. We don't know what the real game plan is. We don't even know if they know what the real game plan is. They called them the Gang of Eight. They should have called them the Eight Gangsters. That's what they should have called them. I mean, they've got, what, a 900 or 890-page bill? I'll guarantee you not one of them has read it. But I was very, very clear on understanding what Marco Rubio said. He said it would take them 10 years, assuming they passed all their hurdles, before they could vote. Now, the only thing that I could see that could hurt the Republicans, if that's true, is that the relatives of a lot of these illegals that are legal, that can vote, will obviously vote Democratic in support of these future Democrats voters. Now, what really frustrates me as well, and I've made a few different videos on this topic, is the Republican Party really need to get their act together. If we go back to the 2012 election, the Democrats called Mitt Romney a cold-blooded murderer. I mean, they didn't allude to it. That's what they called him. They called him all kinds of names. None of them were true, but it didn't matter because it set a perception. And what has to happen is the Republican Party must educate the African Americans. The Republican Party must educate the African Americans as to what Muslims did to make money for the last 5,000 years. I'm talking about the Arab Muslims. What business were they in? What was their trade? What did they deal in? I'll tell you what they dealt in. African slaves. That's what the Arab Muslims traded in. African slaves. And the KKK, you know who started the KKK? The Democratic Party started the KKK. And the Jim Crow laws, you know who started and endorsed and enforced the Jim Crow laws? The Democratic Party. Now, what African American in their right mind would want to vote for a Democrat and support the Democratic Party if they understood what I just said? There wouldn't be any. They'd be out of their minds to want to support the Democratic Party, knowing that that's the business that Arabs were in. That's the business that the Democratic Party was in, to support the KKK. The slaves were freed by the Republican Party, not by the Democratic Party. That's why we had the Civil War. it just amazes me how the Republican Party does not mention any of this. This is what they have to do if they want to survive. If you don't want to survive, continue on your path. Be mediocre, be accommodating, while the Democrats destroy whatever is left of the Republican Party. There isn't an awful lot of time left, and Obama is hell-bent on destroying every single Republican senator and every single Republican member of Congress. And he will do that unless the Republicans wake up, fight back by exposing them for what they are: a corrupt, criminal, selfish, destructive, hateful organization. That's what the Democratic Party is.